Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jack here. It's been a while, I know. It's been like 3 weeks. Been on a little bit of a hiatus, but look, I just took a step back from YouTube and from Instagram. I'm not going to dabble on about that because that was in my last video. And yeah, I said I was coming back, and here I am. Just took a little bit of a break, but I was still running Ecom Excellence, which, if you guys don't know, was my educational business, which I have 2 courses that I run for that for Aussies. Not going to get into that. I'm going to get straight into this video, but just a bit of a backstory on why I was away for so long. So I thought, you know, what better way to come back than to actually give a bit of valuable content for you guys and to riddle off some online businesses that I thought might help you guys if you are stuck on what to get started on. So today I'm going to talk about 3 different online businesses that you can start. Now, one of them is Amazon FBA, and I'm going to go into depth on all of them and tell you guys a bit about them and the ups and downs of them. But one of them is Amazon FBA. That one there, you probably need around about $1,000 to start on. Now, number 2 is going to be Shopify. That one there you can start on about $200 to $300. So, like I said, I'm going to go into depth, in depth on these and explain to you what's involved in them and why it costs so much to start them. So we've got Amazon FBA, Shopify, and then we have eBay selling, which you can start with as little as $50, and I'll show you guys a reference to that, which I started just as a bit of a side hustle to show you guys on my Instagram. I started with like $30, maybe just a little bit over $30, and I ended up making back like $200 something on that. I'll show you guys the proof of that, so you guys know I'm not lying about that. I'm not just saying it. We're going to delve straight into it, and we're going to get started with the first one, which is Amazon FBA. So, what's Amazon FBA? What's it all about? Why is it a good online business to start? Amazon FBA is great, and the reason I got into it myself when I started teaching it later on down the track was because it is a business that you can start scaling up, and it is simple enough for a beginner that hasn't started an online business to really sort of sink their teeth into and get started with creating their own products and selling them on an online website where they don't actually have to create their own website. So Amazon FBA is basically getting your own product with your own logo sorted out from somewhere. Let's just say you get a product manufactured in China. Let's say you have a resistance band, like a pack of resistance bands or something, for people to use at home with their home fitness and things like that. Let's say you have a bag full of them, but you wanna, let's just say you could say Crazy for Bands or something could be your brand name. You get in contact with your supplier from China, and you get your logo put in there. You get a logo done up, you get a barcode put on there as well. Let's say you buy 100 of them. Let's just say you buy these for, them for $10 each, and you buy 100 of them. So then when you get, basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna buy these 100 units, or 100 bags of these resistance bands from your Chinese supplier. You get them sent to an Amazon warehouse. So you get them sent straight from your supplier to the Amazon warehouse, and basically what happens is you create a listing on Amazon. So let's just say you list these with your, you get some nice photos done up, you list them on Amazon. Let's just say you sell them on Amazon for $35. Amazon are going to take a cut of that. Let's just say it's 15%, or it's usually it's a certain amount, but let's just say minimum is about 15% cut of that. So what we're aiming for here is to get a profit out of that. So let's just say you work it out, so you buy them for $10, you get them, you sell them for $35, but you still, even after, shipping costs and even after your Amazon fee that they take out, because basically what happens with Amazon, I'm going to try and fit as much into this as I can. You list them on Amazon. Basically, once you sell one on Amazon, let's just say you sell it for that $35, Amazon takes their cut. Now let's just say if you factored in your shipping, the cut that Amazon takes, and then you still end up with, let's just say $10 to $12 profit. What you're aiming to do is to sell those 100 units at $10 to $12 profit. You reinvest those profits, and let's just say you reinvest those profits into another order. This time you sell 200, and then you're still basically getting that $10 to $12 profit. Maybe you might up your price, try and get to $14, maybe $15 profit, and you grow from there. But basically what you're paying Amazon to do is pack it and ship it, straight, and basically when you sell one, they pack it and ship it directly to your customer. So that's the basics of Amazon. It's basically you're buying your product and then you're selling it. You buy your product from your supplier, ship it to Amazon, and then you list it on the Amazon website. So you don't have to create your own website. Once you sell an item, Amazon are the one who packs it and ships it for you. They just charge you a fee. You keep the profit. That's the simplicity of it. Now it's a lot I wouldn't say it's a lot harder than it sounds. It's basically going to take a lot more work than what you think. So it's not like you can, buy a product, have it up, within a week and then start making crazy amounts of profit. It doesn't work like that. Basically, it's going to take time. You got to be in contact with your manufacturer. You have to try and develop a relationship with them, and then you got to try and grow your sales on Amazon. It's not like you're going to, just bang, start getting sales straight away in the first week. It has happened to some of my students where they have launched their product and within a week they had made thousands in sales and they made that profit there. But it doesn't always happen. It depends on the product, it depends on the demand, it depends on the quality of your product. So with that, that's the basics of it. It's basically you're using the Amazon platform to sell your own products that you've made. You try and grow the sales from there and you try and get as much profit out of that as you can. So basically the reason that it costs so much upfront is because you need to buy your stock upfront. So with Amazon, you need to get in contact with your suppliers, and if you get a logo done up, the shipping that's required. Let's just say you spend around $1,000. You might only even get 50 units, maybe 75 units of that, maybe not 100 units. Maybe you might get more than 100 units, but basically the upfront cost is because you have to buy your product upfront, have it sent to Amazon. So basically when I say get it sent to Amazon have fulfillment warehouses. There's hundreds of fulfillment warehouses around the world. In Australia at the moment, I think there's about 5 or 6. I know they are building one here in Brisbane now, which will probably be done in a couple of years, maybe a few years' time. But you're sending them to the Amazon warehouse. So you're basically getting in contact with your supplier and you say, okay, I want these sent to the warehouse. Amazon will give you the address, and then your supplier sends it straight to that address. They receive it into their inventory and they hold your stock for you in your warehouse. Now, obviously, it costs money. Let's just say to have your seller account, it costs about $50 a month. I'm not going to get too involved into all the cost. I have other videos on that on my channel, but the basics of it: gets sent to your warehouse, they store it for you. Once you sell an item, they ship it and send it straight to your customer for you. But that's where that initial amount of money is going to come from, that $1,000. I'm using a roundabout cost here, but that's to buy your stock and have it sent to Amazon, and then the aim for that is to sell it for a profit. And then usually what I would do is use like a cash flow kind of business structure, kind of business plan, I would say, and reinvest those profits from that cash flow into the next order, and you try and grow from there. The main thing is to have a product that, and this is going to go for both Amazon and Shopify. I want to talk about that. Make sure that you have a product that is high quality. Make sure there's a product that solves a problem for people and it's in high demand. Those 3 things there is basically what's going to solidify whether your product is going to be quote unquote a winner or not. So that's Amazon FBA. Now Shopify, I said for that about $200 to $300. Majority of that cost is going to come from advertising, whether that's Facebook ads, whether that's running Facebook ads, targeting people, or doing Google AdWords. I have more experience in Facebook ads. Now, what Shopify dropshipping is, and dropshipping, to be more accurate in that sense, is dropshipping is basically you don't buy your product until someone buys it from you. So let's just say we have those same fitness bands, we sell them for the same price. Let's just say we sell them for the $30, maybe $35 range. In that, someone buys it for you for $35. Then after they buy it, you go directly to your supplier. You buy it from them, and then they ship it directly to your customer. Now, usually there's a bit longer of a wait in terms of shipping, depending on how you get it done. Usually people use places like AliExpress, which do that sort of on-demand type thing where someone buys a product from you and then you can buy it directly from them. They get it processed within a couple of days, the order's processed, and then they get it shipped to a customer for you. So basically the difference in that is you don't buy stock up front. That's why it costs a lot less, but you will need more upfront, for cost of advertising. So the main difference with Shopify is that you need to build your own website. And I say Shopify dropshipping because we build the website on Shopify. And then let's just say you build a website, surrounding this whole fitness band type thing, and you sell people on it. You use the ad to entice people, you bring them into your website, you make your website look nice, make sure it's a high quality product. Again, you can buy samples and things like that to make sure that the product isn't a crappy product. But you entice people to buy them once they get on your website. If it's a good price, if the product looks good, if it solves a problem and it looks high quality, you make sure that you're helping your customers out. They buy your product, okay, bang, you get a payment in. Now you buy that product and then you have it shipped directly to them. So that's Shopify. The main difference, like I was saying, is you need to create your website and you need to create demand. The big difference with Amazon is what I didn't mention before, is that they have, you're selling on the Amazon platform, so people are already going onto the amazon.com.au website, or if you're selling in the US, .com website, and it's already getting that organic traffic. With Shopify, no one knows about your website. You need to create your own website, you need to get the domain name for it, then you need to create your Facebook page, and you need to create your ads for it, you need to create demand around it, you need to bring it to people's attention, where with Amazon, you're already on their platform, you don't need to build a website, you just need to make sure you've got a good quality product on there, and then you can advertise on the Amazon platform as well. It's a lot easier to get traffic through to Amazon. When you're selling on Amazon, it's a lot easier to get traffic through to your listing. But with Shopify, you're a bit more diverse when it comes to what you can advertise, what kind of products you can sell. And there's not so much as a gatekeeper. When it comes to Amazon, you need to create your listing, make sure it's approved. You need to ship it to Amazon. Then you need to do your photos. You need to make sure you comply with Amazon. Where with Shopify, as long as you're not selling anything that's really dangerous or really dodgy, you can actually advertise for that. And the only sort of gatekeepers in that is when you get your ads approved on Facebook or Google AdWords or whatever you want to use. So that $200 to $300 is going to go towards testing your product, most likely, when it comes to advertising. Now, I'm talking in regards to beginners with this, because when I first started, I would put aside maybe $200 to $300 to test that product, and to also get your head wrapped around Facebook ads. If you choose Google AdWords, you can do the same thing with that. So that's Shopify dropshipping. The main differences as to why that cost is so big with Amazon in regards to Shopify is because you don't have to outlay that upfront cost with your product as well. Now, the other big thing to note when it comes to Amazon and Shopify is that it's a lot harder, or from experience, it's a little bit harder to get your own logo customized for your dropshipping product, because when you talk to suppliers, they want you to pay upfront. It's like, okay, you want your logo on these 100 units or these 100 products. We want upfront payment. Where with dropshipping, because it's a bit harder to find a supplier that says, okay, we're going to put your logo on your product only when you sell it. So it's a bit harder to do that. It might be a bit more costly to do that. That's why with dropshipping, it's easier to sell a no-branded product up front, like sort of when you're getting started, and then you can slowly move into branding it and getting your logo on there, because what you want to do with dropshipping is sort of test your product first, and then you can start getting your logo on there. The last thing that I want to talk about, and this is quite a fun one, I don't really talk about it too much on here, but it's eBay flipping. So what I do, the way I went about it, there's different ways to do it. You can go online, but what I did is I went to secondhand shops. So I went to Salvos, and I went to, I went to a Salvos and I went to Lifelines as well. Salvos was my favorite one. But you should, if you look on your Google Maps right now, there should at least, unless you live in the middle of nowhere, there should be like a Salvos close to you, or a Lifeline, or some kind of like charity or secondhand shop that you can go to, and you can actually, go through, and they're just basically discount stores that you can find goodies in there for, and you can actually do your research on eBay and find what sells well. So in my experience with this, when I first started, I wanted to put it on my Instagram to show people what can be done. I wasn't sure how much I was going to spend. I just wanted to find some products that I could sell. So I went in there with the mindset of, okay, I'm not really going to think about how much I'm going to spend. But let's just say you're on a budget of like $50. You go in there and you can actually look through every section. I look through the electronics, I look through clothing, I look through kids' toys. You can even look through books as well, DVDs, CDs, anything you can think of, paintings, whatever you can think of. I went through the first thing because I'm more knowledgeable. I used to work at JB Hi-Fi, and in retail, I was more knowledgeable on sort of the electronic side of things. So I naturally went to the electronics. One of the first things I saw was a JVC camera for $12, and it had everything in it. It had the camera, it had the battery, it had the cables, and it had the bag as well. And I thought, okay, worst case scenario, this thing doesn't work, and I can just sell it for parts or whatnot. So I paid for it. It was $12, and I charged it up, got it working, made sure that it worked, made sure that the part where you put the cassette tapes opens up and you can put the cassette tapes in it and whatnot. But I made sure it worked. But take a step back, because I forgot to mention this. When I was looking for it, I actually looked for it on eBay, and I went through to eBay listings. I put in the model number and whatnot, and I went to sold listings. I wanted to see how much this thing was actually selling for. to my surprise, this thing was selling for like $200 to $300. That was the most exciting part. I thought, okay, this similar models to this camera is selling for $200 to $300. Maybe I can at least get $150 to $200 for this camera. So, did the same thing with everything I looked for. Before I looked, I looked at the price and I looked for how much it sold for before I actually bought it. I looked at those things to make sure there was demand for it. I looked at whether it was selling recently. Go to your sold listings, you type in, the model number or what the product was. So I did that for this camera. I did it for a cap. I did it for some board shorts, and I made sure that I was actually making profit out of it even after postage. So, in instance of the camera, the biggest seller was this camera. I bought it for $12. Had a look online, and I actually listed it for about, I think it was about $180 to $200, and it ended up selling within a day or two. And that was it. I ended up making, let's just say, a little over $150 profit on that one camera. I ended up going in there and spending about $32 on all these items, and then when they sold all up, it was like $220 to $250 ended up selling, and that was like within a week or so. And if people can wrap their heads around that, let's just say, but this is for you guys out there who say, okay, I don't have $1,000 to get started on Amazon. Okay, I'm struggling to get $200 to $300, and that's not a small amount of money. Don't think that I think that there's a small amount of money. $200 is still $200. $50 is still $50 to me. But if you're struggling to do that, start this eBay flipping stuff. Go into Salvos, buy something for $10, see if you can sell it for $30. That's when you get started. Reinvest that $20. Buy something for $20 that you can maybe sell for $60 or $80 or $100. Start doing your research, and that's how I would get started if you have really, like not much money at all and you want to get started selling online. You don't really need any requirements to have an eBay account. Just make sure that you ship your stuff on time. Make sure that you have good quality photos on there, and search on eBay. It's free to do. It's free to make an account. So, like usual fashion, my camera ran out of film or memory, whatever you want to call it, on the memory card. So look, that was pretty much all I had to say, luckily anyway. So I want to end it there with you guys. But before I do so, I just want to let you guys know, if you are struggling, just go out there and try it. Especially with this eBay stuff, it's so accessible to everyone. So go out there and try it. And if you do have any questions for me, comment on this video, or you'll see my social links down below. I'm happy to help in any way that I can if you have any questions. But apart from that, guys, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope this video helped you guys, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care.